and good afternoon. My name is Andrea Rodríguez Venturo, and this is the Apple Narrative presentation. Presenting today will be myself, Giancarlo Sevilla, Carla Torres, and Angela Yucra. To begin, I will briefly overview what this presentation will be covering. First, we will provide you a small summary of Apple's story. Also, we are covering the challenges and problems Apple faces and the internal and external stakeholders that take part in this company. Finally, we are going to talk about the objective of bridging the gap.
Thank you, Andrea. Well, Apple Inc. was founded in 1976 by Steve Jobs, Ronald Wayne, and Steve Wozniak. Their first product was the Apple I, a personal computer created in a garage. In 1984, they made a big leap with Macintosh. However, the following year, Steve Jobs would separate from the company. This was until 1997 Jobs returned, bringing with him a new era for Apple, placing it in the eye of the entire world through its innovative products such as the iMac, the iPhone, and which to this day continues to reinvent itself with new products such as the Apple Vision Pro. But what does Apple do to be unique in the market? Well, Apple is working to sell the latest technology by convincing consumers that they bring the best user experience through its innovative hardware, software, and services. What they try to convey to their consumers is that they provide their users with the best possible experience through each of their products, becoming part of people's lifestyles, improving it. This can be summarized in 3 points that they convey so that their message makes sense. By revolutionizing the idea of phones and computers, they managed to convey a sense of simplicity to their computers. Through the arrival of the iPhone, they showed that they could have everything in one: calls, message, and music in a device of size capable of fitting into pockets. This placed Apple as a necessary brand in people's lives, making this device part of their daily lives. It also integrates all its products, creating an ecosystem that generates unique functions between Apple devices thanks to its unique operating system for its products, creating compatibility that encourage people to acquire the complete ecosystem. Finally, they are committed to progressively improving their care for the environment. In 2022, 20% of all the materials with which they generate their products were from recycled sources. They also have a projection that by 2030 all their products will be carbon neutral. This marks the message of the lifestyles that Apple proposes. Since it is already present in the lives of each consumer, they now want to align themselves with the lifestyle that they currently have, being genuinely interested in reducing the environmental impact, and that everyone who purchases a product, Apple knows that. So, however, this narrative that Apple presents is questioned by certain challenges it faces. In the case of the ecosystem, only 12% that they operate transparently, generating a certain fear in the users of entering their information, which generates doubts in acquiring the Apple ecosystem if their personal information is at risk. In the aspect of innovation, currently the technological market is filled with brands that can generate doubts to the consumer regarding the level of innovation that Apple presents, where brands such as Google, Huawei, or Samsung are shown as a real alternative by entering the top 10 the most innovating brands by Boston Consulting Group in 2023. While in the environment aspect, only 90% believe that Apple is environmental friendly, so despite its efforts such as eliminating the charger from iPhone cases since iPhone 11 to generate smaller carbon footprints, the perception has not changed. It's favored completely, so they will have to continue improving progressively to prove it.
Thank you, Giancarlos. A key issue facing Apple it is the dependence on China for the manufacturing and assembly of its products. This reliance presents several challenges and risks. One major concern is the ongoing US and China trade tension. These disputes have led to tariff and other trade barriers, significantly increasing costs for Apple. Additionally, this risk of further escalation remains high, which could disrupt Apple's supply chain and market access, posing a substantial geopolitical risk. Other critical challenge is the vulnerability of global supply chains, as highlighted by events such as the pandemic, factory shutdowns, and logistical challenges during the pandemic lead to delays and shortage of, Apple products, exposing the fragility of its supply chain. Despite these challenges, there are significant opportunities for Apple to enhance its relevance. One promising strategy is the diversification of its supply chain by expanding manufacturing to other countries such as Vietnam and India. Apple can mitigate risk associated with over reliance on China. This diversification not only reduces vulnerability but also opens up new economies opportunity in these emergency markets. Moreover, investing in automation and advanced technology manufacturing present another opportunity for Apple by reducing reliance on human labor and improving efficiency. This technological advancement can help Apple address some of the risks associated with rising labor costs in China.
Thank you, Andrea. First, I will talk about the impact on internal stakeholders. On the one hand, I will mention Apple employees. According to Business Insider, Apple employees are significantly impacted by ongoing supply chain disruptions and geopolitical tensions, which create uncertainties in production schedules and job stability, especially for those in supply chain management, logistics, and production planning. In response to these challenges, Apple recently laid off over 6,000 employees in California, a rare move for the company. This layoff affected those working on costly projects like microLED displays for smartwatches, indicating a strategic focus under CEO Tim Cook's leadership. Tim Cook's management is facing substantial challenges with Apple stock value dropping by over 10% due to the pressures on iPhone sales, particularly in China. Competitors like Huawei are gaining market share and iPhone sales have significantly declined. Then we have investors. According to Actis Negocios, China's recent decision to limit the use of iPhones by government employees has raised concerns among Apple investors, highlighting the increasing geopolitical volatility and its implications for technology companies. This move could negatively affect Apple's profit margins as the company faces potential sales declines in one of its largest and most vital markets. In addition, this uncertainty has led to increased volatility in Apple's stock price, which has previously experienced significant growth, becoming the first corporation to reach a market value in excess of $3 trillion of dollars. Investors fear that if the situation escalates, it could result in an adverse impact on their investment returns. In second place, I will talk about external stakeholders. According to Mary Station, customers are significantly impacted by the supply chain disruption at Apple. These disruptions have led to delays in the release of new iPhone models, which was expected in September but was delayed until October. This delay affects product availability, leading to potential dissatisfactions among consumers who eagerly await new Apple product launches. Furthermore, increasing production costs due to the tariff and trade barriers might result in higher retail prices for Apple products. This price hike could affect affordability and shift consumer preference towards competitors, impacting Apple's market share. Then we have employees of suppliers and distributors. According to New York Times, the decline in iPhone demand in China has greatly impacted by employees of Apple's suppliers highlighting the dependence of Chinese manufacturers on Apple contracts. These situations affects both the economy, stability of factories, and the financial well-being of workers. At the Changshu factory, reduced smartphone sales have drastically cut over time, which was crucial for workers' income. For example, Shangxi, a 25-year-old employee, saw her salary half, forcing her to seek other employment. This reduction in income not only affects workers directly but also contributes to China's broader economic slowdowns. The labor market impact is significant. Workers rely on stable orders to maintain jobs and income, reduce overtime and wages, threaten their economic security, leading to job uncertainty and increased economic pressures on families and the broader economy.
Thank you, Carla. The communication objective is to strengthen the public perception of Apple among stakeholders as an innovative, creative, and transparent company, committed to sustainability and social responsibility by promoting extant technological advances, ethical practices, and supply chain diversification efforts. Well, this objective seeks to harmonize the various internal and external narratives about Apple, one of the most influential and recognized companies in the technological field worldwide. Internally, Apple is perceived as innovative and creative organization committed to excellence and with a unique approach to getting things done. However, these perceptions are not always fully reflected in public opinion and in the evaluation of external experts. Externally, there are a range of perceptions about Apple ranging from recognition of its innovation and modernity to doubts about its transparency, environmental responsibility, and depends on China in its supply chain. This communication is to close the gap between different perceptions, aligning Apple's public image with its internal narrative. In doing so, the goal seeks to consolidate Apple's position as a leader in innovation and creativity while addressing concerns about transparency, sustainability, and depends on China. Ultimately, it seeks to strengthen Apple's trust and credibility with its stakeholders, building a more positive and coherent image that reflects both its internal identity and its commitment to ethical values and responsible business practices. By focusing on this objective, Apple can enhance brand reputation, build trust with stakeholders, also differentiate itself in the market, mitigate risks, and drive long-term growth. In conclusion, Apple's narrative of innovation, simplicity, and environmental commitment has cemented its place as a leading technological company. However, significant challenges, particularly related to supply chain dependence on China and issues of transparency, threaten to undermine this narrative. By addressing these challenges through diversification of its supply chain, increased automations, and improved communication strategies, Apple can reinforce its reputation as a forward-thinking, ethical, and sustainable company. Our analysis highlights the need for Apple to align its internal values with external perceptions. By focusing on transparency, sustainability, and resilience, Apple can bridge the gap between its internal identity and public image. Strengthening this alignment will not only enhance brand reputation, but also build trust with customers, employees, investors, and other key stakeholders. This holistic approach is essential for Apple to navigate future challenges and continue driving long-term growth and innovation. Thank you so much.